Hi, everyone. My name is Misha, and you're watching a podcast series from Digital Renaissance Music Institute. And today we're talking with Dmitry. He's a CEO of Digital Renaissance Music Institute Dubai. And he will answer some interesting questions about music education in 2026. We will discuss different aspects of music education in case of new digital culture of music production. And here he is.
Hi, Misha. Hello, everyone.
Nice to meet you. And this podcast should be done, I think, maybe a year ago in the beginning of the institute. Could you maybe tell us a short story about the institute? Because I don't think we have any such material on YouTube right now.
Sure. Digital Renaissance Music Institute. This is kind of a next chapter of my previous project. Genetically, they are connected with each other. My previous project was called Moscow Music School, and it was established in 2017, almost a decade ago. And we was the first education institution in the musical field, which provides education which was focused on music production and creativity within the music. Because more traditional or more institutional way of teaching, learning music is like playing or repeating already existing music and learning music theory for sure, and also playing a lot, kind of repeating what's already existing. And our aim from the very beginning was to also study, teach, and learn from students' perspective on how to create something, how ideas being created, emerged, and then developed. Now the project is based in Dubai, in UAE, in Dubai Knowledge Park in particular, and we carrying on pursuing the same goal as to provide the most creative possible education in the field of music production, and also music industry. But now it's on Dubai.
What are the main goals for the institute in like new decade of 26, 27?
Practical goals or
I mean, mission wise.
well, mission is to help local community, which is multicultural, pretty much consists of guys from India, from Philippines, from Arabic countries, from Western countries, to kick off their music career and to develop it. And we also providing all skill set requires for that. This is the main goal.
How do you think does structured education expand artistic identity or unintentionally standardize it?
It depends on the education. Our education, for sure, helping people to actually find their voice and find their identity, while more traditional, even jazz music education, which is the most advanced and most modern among different schools of music education. Even in this case, it's still more about training your mastery on your music instruments, which become also an obstacle to raise your voice, because if you need to master your life playing something, like how dare you to raise your own voice to outstand from the majority. So it depends on the approach, I would say.
So in the era of direct to audience platforms, what is the true role of such institution like Digital Renaissance?
What is direct to audience platforms?
When the track goes from the bedroom direct to platforms and
All
social
right, I got
medias.
it. All right. And the question again from the very beginning.
Where is the role of such institution of digital renaissance in this era processes?
Well, it just, I mean, we're not linked, right? This situation when you can write something, publish it immediately is just maybe our second nature right now, right? This is just a condition that we live in. And the problem for creators that there is too much creators right now, and it's really hard to outstand. And like weekly on Spotify, almost 500,000 new tracks being released by different artists, from the mainstream pop stars like Taylor Swift to, I don't know, some obscure experimental techno from Cambodia or something like this. And only 1%, or maybe now it's even less than 1%, taking 90% of people's attention. So it's very competitive and it's hard to being noticed. And this is what we dealing with. I mean, it's not necessary everyone needs music education, actually education at all, to receive popularity, but it's certainly better to have, and people who will have this education will certainly have much more probability, more chances to know exactly what to do in order not to being sunk under this wave of newcomers every day.
Okay, so you think that it could like help people from this 90% who doesn't get any success of acquiring new listeners like majors do. This kind of institutions could help people to make this more effective.
No, not exactly. Well, I just want to avoid to be overcomplicated, and the institutions of our kind have multiple roles, and we work as a think tank, right? We call ourselves Digital Renaissance because now we obviously live in the digital era, already like 3.0 or something like this, maybe already 4.0 with the AI revolution. If it will be a revolution, we don't know yet. And we constitute that we should somehow deal with this reality, whether we like it or not, and study it, explore it, and find out how it works and what to do with that. And it's much more efficient to do it in the collective, within the collective, or enthusiast, or people who has some knowledge or experience in that, and trying different variations, studying how it works in order to understand how it works really. Because as for now, there is a lot of speculation on like what AI will bring to humanity. The same story had happened when it was digital tools just invented, like Photoshop or digital photography. Everyone was scared that it will kill the photography itself as art, or I mean, we can find similar stories. Music is a media, right? It's just a way of expressing emotions or ideas in a form of a structured sound waves. So, I mean, as an institution, we're not only established to teach people how to play guitar or use DAW. There is a lot of other places who can make it. And we call ourselves Digital Renaissance not only because it's a cool title, but also because we're really curious what's happening in the world right now and what will happen next. So we love music, we believe in music, and we also curious what technologies can bring. So we're not afraid of how technologies develop, but we just want to investigate or explore how it should be applied in a proper way, in order not to ruin music industry or not to ruin music as art, but to bring something new. We don't know yet what's new, but it certainly something will be in the future.
How do you think, is the musician still at the center of the process, or it's like a part of larger system?
Larger system of what?
Music production from the beginning to the end.
It's a discussion about a different title. I'd like to highlight that musicians in current vocabulary is people who playing music instruments, right?
I mean, musician
Is that what you meant?
Is a performer with the instrument or voice or composer.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, it depends. There is still room for purely um, musical music, if we can say it, that started from music instrument historically. But music producers is also kind of cornerstone probably right now in this position. You could be musician but not being a music producer. Sometimes there's also music producer who are not musicians, for example, electronic music producers. You can have both roles or skill sets in the same person. Popular music nowadays, contemporary, it's something that cannot avoid the production. Even previously, when it was not digitalized yet, you had sound engineer and musicians, one playing music and audio engineer recording it and then making some editing manipulations. But right now everything is digitalized and music can be created without recording anything, right? Purely inside a machine. And I would say definitely music production currently is something in the core of music industry and music as art.
What do you think? Would it be more, I mean, in the next future, people who are most like a band and a production project with all the roles involved in that in a classical way, or we will have like more self projects where some person becomes musician, composer, beat maker, producer, sound engineer, mastering engineer with all the tool set that we have now?
Well, definitely second option. It's like answer already inside your question. Yeah, definitely. The more you can do within one role, it will be much more convenient. And it's also a matter of, I mean, it's too expensive to have separate roles for different part of production. And if you have time and money to hire musicians to record parts in your track, that's good. But if not, it's not a problem. You can produce it yourself.
Maybe it's not expensive, but it's harder. It's longer process to find some same thinking people.
I mean, it could be more expensive, not money wise, but
Yeah,
in
yeah.
different aspects, just time consuming also.
Because why I'm asking is because a lot of countries has self-employment something business type. In case that right now we have all the digital tools and anybody can make himself any tool he want with AI, I don't see any changing the balance of self-employments and conservative companies this way. And the same way I see in like the biggest investment companies like Berkshire Hathaway, they still invest in Coca-Cola, Apple, etc., like a classical companies. Maybe it looks like it should be the more individuals will produce and take a part in the industry by themselves, but maybe the classical way is still as valuable as it was like decades before.
Classical way of what?
Like when we have the band studio and all the stuff.
Well, I don't say that everything will be changed entirely. That all the studios will be in decay or in decline. There will be a certain room for both. But I mean, before Instagram was launched, people didn't use even mobile photography for this reason, right? We didn't have diverse and decentralized industry of creating something, right? Now I think it belongs to the advertisement market. But before it was controlled by advertising agencies, corporations, and then it gradually become more and more diversified. So I guess the same is already happening with music as well. And before there was like independent artist, such a word, which maybe have already no sense for the most recent generation who just start getting inside the music, because we need to explain for them what does it mean independent artist, because it came from the age when there was majors and then like myriads of independent record labels. As for now, sometimes even record label, I mean, you don't need a record label sometimes. On the very beginning, you don't need it, and when you are like absolutely huge star, you already don't need it because you're too big to be a part of the label. It just brings new strategies, I would say, right? New challenges, but also new strategies how to deal with that. It's just a bit changing the rules of the game in terms of production as well, and in terms of promotion as well. It's just setting a bit different dynamics. Because, for example, maybe half a century ago, it was just harder to start because you need to know how to play any music instrument and then you need to record it. Now you just can start with a DW even without any knowledge. But then you will face a new challenge that it's hard to develop. It's easy to stuck in loop creating beats or something. But before you didn't have this challenge when you was playing music instruments. I mean, you don't have this illusion that you already have created a song. You certainly understand that you need to master your skills, for example, in order to achieve something. Here we have this illusion that it's easy to do. Yes, it's easy, but then everyone else can do the same. And you need to, I don't know, bake your cake properly. And there is no recipe for that.
Is it more valuable right now to cultivate a distinct voice or the ability to operate across the context? I mean, if you're artist.
There is no recipe, there is no right and wrong answer. It depends on the aims. For example, if you want to somehow hack the system, you should definitely find the right proportion of being as mainstream as possible, unless it become a plagiarism, right? Because it will allow algorithm to promote you organically. For example, this is how so-called electronic dance music usually works. We maybe have no idea who is the author of this track, but then it could be automatically or semi-automatically promoted by platforms like YouTube, and these producers will receive royalties. But from the like musicological point of view, this track is not something interesting, but it does it work. It allows this producer to earn his or she's money, and this is a strategy of being as similar with the mainstream as possible, but not become plagiaristic. Then it's much more risky. Less probable you will hack the system, but if you will, it will gives you like a price for that. It's just a different approach.
How do you think, is it still possible to build a career without a personal brand? If you are musician, singer, producer, beatmaker, personal brand means like you develop your social media, etc.
You should be known to people. People should somehow be aware that you exist, right? Even if you were a sound engineer. I mean, people somewhere on a backstage, listeners don't know them and will never know. But professionals, other artists, professional inside music industry or event industry, should know their name certainly. And maybe it's not about blogging or having your Instagram account, but you will need to somehow promote yourself among this. Let's call it networking, definitely. Yeah, if you're an artist, yeah, sure. Who will buy any tickets for unknown artist? Or if you're unknown and somewhere on the lineup of some random um, electronic music event, yeah, maybe people will or one don't will not care about who exactly is playing just because they want to come to this party, and they will not memorize names of the DJs or artists. But then, sorry, I think I'm just saying something very obvious for everyone,
You
right?
just think so because of a lot of youngers or just people who don't have such experience as you, who haven't saw as many musicians growing on his eyes. He cannot just imagine how it works.
I think you cannot build any career without having building your personal brand. Let's call it like this. Just because people will judge on you based on your achievements, right? Even if you're accountant or I don't know, HR manager, if you will try to find a job on the market, then most probably people would like to see what you have done before, and then it should be something in your CV. It's just, I mean, universal, and even more important in creative industries, because nothing can tell about you better than your portfolio. If you're a musician or even engineer, it will be your discography, uh, releases or
Credits.
recordings, that credits, yeah, that what will say about you better than everything else. So definitely yes, absolutely. But it doesn't ultimately mean that everyone should become a blogger and start making their Instagram account or something. No, you just need to carefully track your records and allow people to take a look on them if needed.
Because in the past, like 80s, 90s, a lot of musicians or producers became known for people just by word of mouth in the industry. And they had some huge projects.
Well, it's still relevant, but it's just a example of personal brand, but in um, old circumstance, I would say. Now we have digital social medias, social networking can happen in the internet, and before that it wasn't possible. That's why there was a word of mouth. But it's also like just the same principle, but in different form, in form of conversation of the people.
How do you think, does AI amplify individual talent or reduce differentiation between artists?
Well, as always, I should start my answer with a phrase, it depends. It's like asking if knife will harm or help a chief to become a better chief. It depends on how thoughtful you are when you use it. If you use AI to learn something, to achieve something, I mean, not just to hack the system and stay lazy and find cheap tricks to solve something, but to learn, it will help you. It's just one more source of ideas or one more way to prove something or to make experiments. But it can also ruin you if you will just obey without understanding how it works and be naive to show something that um, that is mediocre, because everyone now using AI, and you just need to understand doesn't have real value, right? Because it's easy way to get result, and you need to validate if this result have a value or not.
Give maybe the main advice for musicians and people who want to be a part of worldwide music industry in 2026, based on your experience.
Well, I would say there is good and bad news that we have streaming platforms, AI, all these digital tools, platforms that we have. Good news that no, bad news. Let's start from the bad news. There is a huge stream of the content, and for example, when cinematography was just invented somewhere in the late 19th century, you had opportunity actually to watch whole cinematographer history of cinematography, like each film that was produced. But it actually very quickly ended up because people very quickly start making a lot of cinema, and starting from maybe mid 20th century, it become almost impossible even for experts to watch everything. And as for now, there is no way um, you can make it in music, for example, because like it's constant stream of content, which can scare you, right? I mean, just easy to lost in that. But the good news that actually a number of significant releases, significant artists, they're not changing so quickly. If we will take a look for charts, or for example, there is a chart metrics special tool for music professionals, for artist managers to check what's going on currently with artists worldwide. You will notice that actually same big names being listened most of the time, and you can also judge it with music in social media or in the cafes and restaurants. You will find more or less same tracks all the time, because we also, as listeners, people trying to find something that they already know. And the real aim for creators right now is to find a place somewhere near this core evergreen, like classical names, and try to find. So you don't need to monitor and deal with the whole stream of new content. Just make no sense. You need to understand how is it structured, what's the key figures, what the key ideas, maybe concepts, and explore them. You don't need to explore everything. And for example, that's why I'm very skeptical to so-called trend watching, or just this concept of trends, that it's constantly changing, and if you have a trend, it's better to follow it. No, not really. It reminds me something that's happening on the stock markets. If something goes down, goes up, it can mean anything. Even professionals don't know how it works, because it's like psychology of
Random.
masses. Yeah, it's more like randomized. So I would say pay attention on what's the classic, but do not just repeat it or make it covers. No, you the phenomena or a trick that you should be always different but always the same.
Take it as a basis.
Not too weird that people won't understand what you mean, but also not too mediocre that people would probably never remember your name. That's the like I don't know, balance of life right now that everyone should find.
That was Dmitry Panov, CEO of Digital Renaissance Music Institute. Welcome to the programs. All the links below, and subscribe to DR channel. And thank you.
Thank you.